Be a voice.
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 Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org.
Visit WisconsinVoices.org
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voice.
You do not want to miss your tickets. Go to WisconsinVoices.org. Click on second annual gala. Y'all gonna get some nice t-shirts for free with your ticket purchase.
For free.
For free. And if you do not want to use the Evite or the Eventbrite, you can always email admin@wisconsinvoices.org and say, I'm paying at the door.
At the door.
D-O-O-O-O-O.
At the door.
Dough.
For sure.
So guess what I did yesterday, Kian?
What'd you do yesterday, Tamika?
Well, we had a special guest in studio yesterday.
Yeah.
What was her name? I think she was unemployed, so she was Lena C. Taylor. But at 4:00, I texted her when she was officially getting ready to get sworn in. I was like, Senator Taylor, or excuse me, Lena Taylor, you are unemployed for 4 more minutes.
Yeah. Say first time in 35 years.
Yeah, she said
30
since
years.
she was 9, she always had either a babysitting job,
Yeah.
shoveling job, something. And she's like, I've been unemployed for 48 hours. I don't like this.
She was saying she could have got
Hey,
that
that's
unemployment
something me
insurance.
and Judge Taylor got in common because I worked my butt off from like 7 years old.
And so we went
Yeah.
to her swearing in, and it was a lot of support. And as we were sitting there, she said something to the effect of the judge who was swearing her in, well, this ain't her official, swearing in. I mean, they have some kind of event or something that they do, but there was people from all over the community right there just wanting to support her. So it was pretty cool. Now I did try to wake her up at 8:00 in the morning. She had to be at work. I was like, well, you don't know how to get up on a time, so I just wanted to make sure you were up.
Who don't know how?
You know, she
Man, she would walk up in the studio in pajamas. She's always up. I didn't know she slept.
But this is the funny part. She told Michelle to do something yesterday, and Michelle's like, do you realize I don't work for you anymore?
Oh, yeah. that infamous Eddie Murphy, Michael Jackson moment. I don't work for you.
That's 19 years, over the course of off and on, 19 years of somebody working for you. Let's see, we have a caller. Let's see.
Did you push a button? You don't push buttons, don't mess up.
You told me to push. I'm
somebody.
sorry,
That's
I
what
ain't
I'm
pushing
doing.
no more
Yeah, don't
buttons.
push no buttons.
Keon is
Everybody
in charge
wanna
up in
push
here.
buttons and touch keys.
I don't really want to. But
said,
the
what's
phone
gonna
was right
happen
here.
if I take that key out right there.
Yeah, I said, go ahead.
Okay.
You got a call.
Caller.
Hello,
Hello, who is this?
Lucretia.
Hello, Lucretia. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. Are you calling to give us comment or answer the question?
I'm gonna try to answer the question.
All right.
Okay. Let me hear.
Okay, so you needed two of your community partners,
Yes.
Neighborhood House
Yes.
and Sherman Park Phoenix. No, not Sherman Park Phoenix. Sherman Park Association.
There we go.
Good job,
Hey.
Lucretia.
These auction items.
Absolutely.
Tell them a little bit about that again.
So I like doing auction items just because it's always a way to tap in with the community and reach out to organizations that are, already making a footprint or imprint, however you want to say that, in the community. If we can put them on another platform or get their item, whatever individual artists or even if it's a whole team of people that's, got a product that they sell and creating, if they're willing to, support our gala, and even for you individual organizations or companies or entrepreneurs right now that's listening to this, if you have anything that you would like to support or promote and you want to, donate an auction item, contact myself or Nicole at wisconsinvoices.org, or Brian, Bryan, at wisconsinvoices.org. I am really big on highlighting our city. We have so many talented people here that make great items, that have some services and skills that, you know, are next level, and we need to promote you. We want to see what you got, and if we can get your item there, we'll promote it. We'll put it on our website. She'll do some awesome feature, and we'll take some cool pictures. We had in the past. We had shoes. This year we're gonna have, you know, tattoo artists working with us. We're gonna have a workout auction. We got a workout session, auction off. You know, we're working on getting some bikes in. We're gonna have some tickets to some sporting events. Of course, we're gonna always try to reach out to our local clothing designers. I'm still going to be, I still want to work with some of the local clothing designers the next week or so. So again, if you're a true Milwaukee or Milwaukeean or Wisconsinite, whatever you want to support or see your business get some promotion, and you just need to kind of revamp, or just like, hey, let me step outside my comfort zone, show us what you got. We want to put it in our auction at our gallery. It'd be nice to see it.
We also have an artist that we're going to be featuring 2 of his pieces of art, and his name is Bill Ross. He was he was coming up in the ranks in the early or the late 80s, early 90s. He has since passed away, but his artwork is gorgeous and beautiful. Yes. He has done murals in Chicago. He's worked in New York, and we are blessed to have gotten a few of his pieces to highlight his work. What we really want to do is support BIPOC and marginalized people in their businesses and in their community, because that is what our organization does. Speaking of which, we're going to get to some real conversations about some legislation, and we're going to Assembly Bill 554. And this is where our newest member of Wisconsin Voices, which is Joe Dre from, we ain't gonna say where he from, because he
OH.
just OH.
Yeah, so I say OH, you're supposed to say IO.
No, it's OH. We don't even know where that is. But let's talk. So Joe, tell the listeners about this bill. And the thing is, please pay attention, because if you have any children that are coming up in middle school, high school, college age children, this may affect you. Your grandchildren, the future kids you might have, this will affect you. So go ahead.
Yeah. So there's essentially 2 bills. One that's already been passed through the Assembly, Assembly Bill 554, and then the Senate's also taken up a similar bill, Senate Bill 596. So essentially what that does is this bill changes certain race-based programs or requirements in higher education. In general, the bill modifies these programs and requirements so they apply to disadvantaged students rather than minority students.
So I want you to say that again, because we're going to deep dive into that a little bit.
So this bill changes certain race-based programs or requirements in higher education, so college. In general, the bill modifies these programs and requirements so they apply to disadvantaged students rather than minority students.
And the list of these, the programs, if you get a minority teaching loan program administered by the HEAB, which is the Higher Education Aid Board, the minority undergrad grant administered by the same board, minority and disadvantaged student program, which is the University of Wisconsin system, the Lawton grant program, and that's with the University of Wisconsin System Board of Regents. The Minority Student Participation and Retention Plan required of the WTCS, which is the Wisconsin Technical College System. Minority students participating in, the Incentive Grant Award by the WTCS. All these are related to this. Now, what minority, you know what a minority is. It's a clear definition. You're a minority. What is their definition of disadvantaged?
And I think they kind of left this open a little bit and broad for a reason. But there was an amendment to the Assembly Bill, Amendment 1, which kind of starts to clarify the meaning of disadvantage. So specifically under this amendment, a student is disadvantaged if that student has experienced any unfavorable economic, family, geographic, physical, or other personal hardships. So, I mean, when we talk about other personal hardships, I think that leaves the floodgates open for us to, or for other folks down the line to interpret what that means. I think what's the most disparaging is historically for many years, these funds and these programs have been designed to help minorities, specifically in the area of education and the medical profession, right? So, getting out there and getting your voice out there and letting your state senators and your state assemblymen know that, we don't support this. We want to see that money stay with the minority groups right here in our community, rather than opening the floodgates up to pretty much everybody.
This is when they started using, and I talked to another person about this, when they started categorizing race into a minority to a point, this is when it was going to start falling off the wagon. Everybody can be considered a disadvantaged class now, regardless. I was looking at this, and as Joe and I were talking, I was like, Joe, so you're telling me it is possible that a rich kid that had to move from Texas to Wisconsin because his dad got a divorce and dad got custody and he moved to Wisconsin, he just got displaced. Even though he might be loaded, he may qualify for one of these loans or benefits. Keon, you looking at me?
Michelle brings that up a lot when we're talking about business and the minority policies with that. The guy that owns the companies can put it under his wife's name because she's a white female, as opposed to African American or people of color or, Chinese American or Mexican. So, yeah, this broken up is so diverse now. Anything other than, anything can be.
Anything can be considered that.
No, think about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And there was, we were taking, I think, Nicole, you guys all remember Nicole, the backbone and the matriarch of our organization. We were taking an HR class, just learning about the do's and don'ts of firing and hiring and stuff. And one of the things that the presenter said is, anybody can be a protected class. It used to be, race, gender, sexual orientation, protected class. But you can find anything to get yourself under a protected class. And what does it do? It hinders the population we are trying to uplift. I find it disheartening where there are people who really, really need these loans. Now, let me tell you something. I'm complaining right now because my daughter is in school. I barely get any financial aid. None. Actually, I get none. She gets some student loans and I got to pay out of my pocket. Yes, I might complain, but at the end of the day, I still can come up with it. And so I should stop complaining because I can come up with it. I can do something. But there are people, real people out there who are brilliant. Our students are brilliant. Our students can start their own businesses and do a lot of things. And what happens? they don't have the money to elevate themselves. And they go for these programs or these loans, and they're being taken from people who can afford to do what they have to do. It's just everybody wants to get, a piece of pie. Why would I want to pay?
So isn't the dividing line there the difference between equity and equality?
Yes. There was a couple of years ago, there was it was either TikTok or a Facebook thing or a meme or something, when people were looking at the difference between equity and equality. Equality is you give somebody the same thing no matter what, even if they don't need it. And I don't know if you remember the meme where there was a shorter guy, a middle-sized guy that was in the middle height, and then there was a tall guy, but they all gave them the exact same height of a box to stand over so they could see over the fence. Now, the taller guy and the middle guy did not need it. And even though they gave them equal boxes, the shorter guy barely could see over. But when you talk about equity, that means I'm going to give the shorter guy a bigger box. I'm going to give the middle guy a smaller box. And I'm not going to give the taller guy a box at all because he can clearly see over the fence. And that is what we have to start thinking about. We all want to keep money in our pocket. I do. I cry every time I see the bill for University of Wisconsin, Oshkosh. But I know at the end of the day, I am blessed to be able to do it. But what about those people who are not even blessed to do it? I've seen some kids who are crying because they are so wanting to be educated. They want a better life. And because of some of these rules that's being changed, they have no way to get there. And the funny thing is, we're not looking at like legacies where you get in because you're a legacy. We're not looking at those things. We're just looking at, and it always seems to hurt Black, Brown, Native Americans the most. Kiera, I'm sad. My heart hurt for our community and why people would do stuff like this. It ends up being that no one is looking out for our babies. We should be on the phone calling our representatives, calling other representatives. Usually they don't, but making sure Senator LaTanya Johnson, Senator Chris Larson, Senator Tim Carpenter, Representative Dora Drake, Representative Darren Madison, Representative Chris Sinicki, Representative Supreme Umakunde, more. I had to add that in. Who else there? Representative Lakeisha Myers, Representative Kaylin Haywood. Who else am I missing in the Milwaukee area? Representative Marissa Bell Cabrera, Representative Sylvia Ortiz, Representative Ryan Clancy.
There's so much more stuff that they can be working on.
We have to start talking to them. We have to organize. One of the things that we talk about in our Civics 101 class is how to organize around a issue. And the thing is, if one person call an alderman or a state rep or a senator, they're going to put it in there. They're going to log it that this is what you said. And maybe, this one person. But if you get maybe 10 people, all of a sudden it's like, well, let me see about this. But if you get 20, 30, 50 people that are saying the same thing and actually making a campaign, doing a social justice or social media campaign, doing a writing campaign, they have to pay attention. Now with the legislature, we'll see what it looks like after redistricting, but they have to pay attention. We have to force our representatives to do what we ask them to do. And their job is to be policy makers.
Right.
We are telling them what policy we want, and they have to listen and make that policy happen.
Join us February 16th at 5 at the Bavarian Beer House for our Be a Voice Gala. Join us for a spectacular night as we gather to highlight the efforts and future of our community. Visit wisconsinvoices.org to learn more.
Catch Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio, every Monday, Tuesday, and Friday at 11 a.m. as we focus on community partnerships, voter education, and long-term collective impact for all Wisconsinites.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices, Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
And that's what you just have to figure out, how to maneuver the system. But you shouldn't have to maneuver this much.
No, I mean, just breaking it down a little bit and looking at some of the programs that it affects. Minority teacher loan program. Historically, that was a $10,000 a year loan that was 25% of that was forgiven every year that the student was in school. So essentially it turns from a loan to a grant. So, those opportunities like that, we talk about, teacher shortages and our need for more teachers in the community. But this kind of prevents minorities, and hinders minorities and puts roadblocks in front of minorities to get to opt into a wonderful program like this. $10,000 a year that's forgiven 25% of the loan each year. Each school year the loan recipient's a full-time student. So these are some really big programs. It's not just one or two. There's several there that this is really going to have an impact, I think, on our community.
And I actually think it's going to have an impact not just on race, but also it's going to get into people who are low income. And I'm talking about not just race or Black, brown, BIPOC. I'm talking about the low income white community. Mm-hmm. Now they might have 2-family households and they just might be economically not all there, but are they going to get those loans? Or is somebody who just got moved and their parents got divorced and they had a crisis, will they get the money? I just think this is far-fetched, but it's not that far-fetched. It seems like once we give them an inch to do something, then they take a foot and then a yard and then a mile, and then they're doing damage that cannot be reversed. But we're gonna keep you informed. We're gonna try to come with some policies that are right there. So I would suggest you guys please call your elected representatives. And vote. Now we have a primary on February 20th. We are trying to schedule some of the candidates that are on the ballot on the primary, and then after that we'll go to the candidates that are on the general. But this is very important. People forget to do the primary. It's like, oh, this is just primary. But what happens if your favorite candidate, because you didn't vote, doesn't get to be the top two? And that might been they got this. I know a lot of people like them. But if a whole bunch of people are saying, oh, a lot of people like them, they should get on the ballot, and you don't go vote, and then all of a sudden you end up without your favorite candidate, and you assume that they're going to make it, they're not on the ballot because, you didn't go out there and vote. Voting this is how you exercise your thoughts. You find a candidate and you say, this candidate aligns the most with what I believe. Now, we're not saying that you're going, and I will always harp on this, you will not get someone that is 100% unless you the candidate. And sometimes I look at myself and be like, well, I don't believe that, but my constituents do, and I'm there to represent them and not me personally. But if you look at that and say, you know what, and I always tell people to write your top 10 most important issues, whether it be local, state, federal, school board, and see what the candidates are saying, see what they support, see what they don't support, and then make a little check mark. And whoever aligns with you the most, that's who you should vote for. That is the easiest way, I believe, to really look at it. So you're not a one issue voter. You're not listening to one particular way of thinking or not. You're just going to really do some research. And sometimes I've heard people say, I don't have time for all that. But guess what? This is your life. This is a couple of minutes. It might be an hour for you to research these candidates. But you have these representatives. You're going to have the county supervisor for 2 years. You're going to have the alderperson that is in for 4 years, depending on where you are. You're going to have that assembly person for 4 years. You're going to have that senator or the assembly for 2 years, the senator for 4 years. We have a U.S. Senate race. That person's in for 6 years. We're going to have a presidential election in the primaries in April, the elections in November. But guess what? That's 4 years of your life. So to take an hour or two to research these people, it's worth it because you're going to have these people for years to come. And it's nothing you can do. And you got to at least have them for a year because you can't even recall somebody for a year after they've been in office. So you're stuck with them at least one full year, no matter what they do. They could act a stone fool 2 days after they get sworn in and you can't do anything. So you really want to look and see what we're doing. Now, I know we're going to go back and we're going to try to have some policy stuff on Tuesday. So you'll know, sometimes it may switch up, but the policy part is the best and what we're doing. But I'm going to go back a little bit to Wisconsin Voices and our gala in the sense of yesterday you met Veronica. She's with Share the Love. She was one of our recipients of the Building Community Award. We gave 2 of those away, and we really want to highlight the people that received those awards and then the people that are going to receive those awards this year. And we're not asking for anybody's opinion. Wisconsin Voices knows who those people are in our organization. This is not my decision. We go as a group and we say, what organization really did we feel really built the community? What organization really is our advocacy, or who's our community hero? Well, on the line, we have our last year's community hero, and I think she might get on Keon because he was trying to talk stuff. Well, let's get her on the line.
She's Sister Herrera, she's an agitator. And
no, I got witnesses.
That's fine.
Sister Herrera.
Go back 45 years.
Yes, it's always good to be an agitator because that's how you change things.
Thank you.
Years.
Well, for our listeners here on Be a Voice, Sister Jeanette Herrera was our community hero last year. She has been doing this work for, I won't say how many years, but it's been a long, long time. And she just touches so many parts of the community. And guess what? Never asked for recognition, never asked for pay, but she should be getting paid. Never asked for the things that, that sometimes we ask for. She is just there all the time. Welcome, Sister Herrera. How are you?
I am doing fine, and I thank you so much for having me. I thank you so much for the award, the honoring me. Like I said, it's really not about me, but it's the legacy that you leave behind. So I just appreciate you all recognizing me.
I remember when she gave her speech. Well, let me tell you how she was doing it though. She came here. Wait a minute. She came and she was on her phone or she was doing something. And I'm up there doing an introduction to her. And she was listening. And every once in a while when I hit a specific thing, because I think I talked about Black Panthers or I talked about something that she looked up and then she looked down and Michelle like tapped her on the shoulder. I think you should listen to this. So she put her phone down and she started listening a little bit more. And when I said her name, she was looking around like, oh, somebody got the same name I did almost. I think she was 100% surprised. But then she gave us the great educational speech about reparations and just wanting to be part of history. You remember that speech?
I remember that speech, and I'm already a history maker, so because I've been in this movement, like I said, all my life. But that's all I know. I can't change anybody else until I change myself. So I'm working on me constantly. Telling the brothers don't call brothers by their name. I told Muhi of the Club and all of that. You're a king. Kings and queens. I said, princes and princess. And I said, when you do that, it makes a difference. So, and so they don't start calling people kings and queens now. I said,
so there was a point that I have heard your story, and it's so inspirational. You were teaching on Atkinson.
Yes, 1220 West Atkinson in the duplex. Yes.
You did.
Created a classroom. I created an atmosphere for my babies. Those are the ones was put out of different schools. And, they were there just babysit and I prayed about it. So Martell Bishop got a son, I guess godson. But anyway, him and my son were really good friends. He's like my son. He asked me about helping the babies over there, and I said, well, I got to pray about it. So, and I thought, well, all money ain't good money. If I stay not helping my babies, I said a lot. If I go and help my babies, that's what I need to do, because we are our babies in the hands of someone else, and not being responsible for them. Whatever we get out of our babies, we deserve it. So I took those babies, created classrooms. I had them put pictures of them, and I wrote a curriculum, take books that represented them, and they would bring the Sierra Nova test to me from DPI. And of course, I was monitored. They passed the writing proficiency and the math proficiency. I got Tony, different people to come and help me. They saw the vision and they came to help, whether they needed Spanish. And my friend, he was an Army brat. He said, I would teach the president Spanish. And so I graduated 100% in that building. So, and I would put them on the bus, take them to the King Center for the FIE. I made sure that they would be able to compete globally. They got the opportunity to go to the Bahamas, learning how to go through customs and how to, because it ain't just a classroom. They have to have an experience,
So you did, you gave them not just a classroom experience, but you educated them on life experiences, making sure that they had access to things they may not have been able to get access to if it wasn't for you and the work you were doing.
Yeah, some of them haven't even been off their porch. They didn't have no experience, and I would take them to different places, to make sure that, and I would tell them, they said, well, you have to raise some money. And I said, well, these preachers and all these folks say they love you. So we just don't go to them and ask them to, to sponsor you, because we don't get to the Bahamas, or we don't get down south to the black colleges, so they say. So I took them to, we went to the colleges and we went around there. We even went to Springfield, Illinois, where Abraham Lincoln was born. And I wanted to explain to them that, he didn't advocate to free anybody. So,
I know.
So please stop it.
Well,
I told them the story of Lincoln, and then in the history book, the 16th president, when he said, when Ulysses S. Grant, the Northern Colonel, and Robert E. Lee, when they lost the war, the Southern states lost the war. Then they said they're gonna secede the Union, right? And so, because they're gonna start their own government, so then Lincoln told them, "Well, I'll crush you like an anaconda snake." Now that's right there in the history book. I mean, nobody's teaching that, right? And if you don't come back, if you secede the Union, don't come back to the Union, I'll crush you like an anaconda snake. You know what that does? Squeeze you to death. And so, he said, if you come back, I will not free the Negroes. You can keep your Negro slaves. That's what he said. And he said, you keep your horses, you keep your ammunition, because, actually they lost the war, and not really because they supported one another, but they didn't want our ancestors, run off.
Well, you have so a plethora of knowledge. You have so much knowledge about not even just national history, Black history, was Milwaukee, a lot of Milwaukee history. I have seen you work with organizations. I know you are tirelessly working for Juneteenth. I see you from sun up to sundown with NorCal, working with them. I've seen you at Garfield Days, working through that. Your our Martin Luther King celebration you do. I've seen you at what is the thing in December? Kwanzaa events. I've seen you so many places and so many things. But this is why, as we were looking around trying to find somebody for our first hero, you were definitely like top choice. I had never seen you. I know you may have got a lot of accolades and awards before, but we wanted to give you that, because you are the epitome of who Wisconsin Voices wants to be. We want to get in there. We want to try to help the community do what we can. We can't save everybody, but we can sure give them a lift, give them a little helping hand. Maybe they need just a boost. And that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, I just want to get off of me, because, I'm good.
But you can't get, because that is why it's called Community Hero, because most of the community heroes don't want to talk about themselves. So I just will let us talk. I'm gonna be done, because we gotta get to the last part of the show.
Something about I just need to say this here. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no.
But I just need to say this. The reason I say I want to get off of me, because my dad never got the opportunity to vote, and my mom got the opportunity when she came to Milwaukee, because they were sharecroppers, and we were on Delma Awareness Plantation, and my dad never got the opportunity, died early. And I just want to say, when I heard you say or when you were speaking about the voting, you said search, and because it's about you want to vote for people that you like. And I just want to say, no, it shouldn't be a personal thing. you got to look at the nation building the whole of your people. What you need to do is, yeah, you research that person, but you can't take this here personal. And I don't take this here voting personally because I know that I have a lot of work to do to try to make sure that my dad didn't die in vain. And so when I look at other people, like I said, when I go to get the thing signed for people to run for office, when I go and I hear some people saying to me, well, I'm not going to sign it because I don't like her or I don't like him. And I said, when you take this personal, you never get the people that you need in the community to vote for. I said, because it ain't about you.
Well, thank you.
Like the person and all that stuff. No.
I ain't never said I like the person. I said
what that person
who
does
aligns
for
best with
the whole of the people, not just you.
Well, I thank you so much, Sister Herrera. We have just a few more minutes. I thank you for being here. We got a couple of announcements before we get out of here. I hope to see you at our gala. I know she's going to be there. If y'all want to come and meet Sister Herrera, please come to our gala. It's February 16th at Bavarian Beer House.
Join us February 16th at 5 at the Bavarian Beer House for our Be a Voice Gala. Join us for a spectacular night as we gather to highlight the efforts and future of our community. Visit wisconsinvoices.org to learn more.
You're listening to Wisconsin Voices Be a Voice Radio. Follow us at BAWI Voice and learn more at wisconsinvoices.org.
Sherman Park Association, Dominican Center, Amani United, Northwest Side CDC, along with Wisconsin Voices. Fond du Lac BID is hosting a candidate forum for District 7 on February 3rd, 2024, from 11 to 1. And it's at the Ambassador Center, Milwaukee. That's 3725 North Sherman Boulevard, formerly known as Park Lawn Assembly of God. These are quite a few of our partners, and they are trying to put together a forum so you can hear what the candidates have to say. Again, that is February 3rd, 2024 at Ambassador Center, Milwaukee. 3725 North Sherman Boulevard, formerly known as Park Lawn Assembly of God. If you have any questions, you can go over to wisconsinvoices.org and click on the calendar for the 3rd, and it'll have the flyer there. It's this Saturday. Be educated. Educate yourself on the candidates that are out there.
Be a voice.
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 Visit wisconsinvoices.org.
Visit wisconsinvoices.org.
Visit wisconsinvoices.org.
And learn more on how to be a voice with Wisconsin Voice.